Have you ever been asked a question that seemed innocent, yet a quiet, persistent alarm went off in your mind? It's a moment that feels like a subtle shift in the air, a drop in temperature just before a storm. The question arrives wrapped in a gentle tone, a friendly smile, or a concerned expression. But in the pit of your stomach, you feel a cold realization taking hold. You've just been invited onto a battlefield you never agreed to fight on, a game with rules designed for you to lose. This is the highest art of the manipulator. Their most potent deceptions aren't blatant lies, those are too easily detected and dismissed. Instead, they use cunning questions. These questions aren't seeking answers, they are laying traps. They are expertly designed to bypass your logical mind and trigger an emotional response. If you cannot see through the disguise, you'll find yourself slowly dismantling your own sanity, doubting your perceptions, apologizing for wounds you never inflicted, and fighting a war against yourself while your true opponent remains untouched. 2,000 years ago, the ancient Stoics, Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, recognized this pattern with chilling clarity. They warned that a true manipulator rarely attacks head-on. Why would they? It's far more efficient to plant a tiny seed of doubt in the fertile soil of your mind and simply wait for you to water it with your own anxiety until it grows into your self-destruction. Today, the tactic remains unchanged, only more subtle, more insidious. In this exploration, we'll dissect the 5 most dangerous questions liars and manipulators use to control you. More importantly, we'll arm you with the responses the Stoics would have employed: calm, clear, and unshakable. By the end, you'll possess the tools to ensure you are never again a pawn in someone else's psychological game. You'll learn how to transform your reactions into considered, deliberate responses, turning their greatest weapons into a mirror that reveals their true intentions. Question 1. Why are you being so sensitive? On its surface, this sounds like a caring inquiry, a gentle nudge to reconsider your feelings. Do not be fooled. This is often the first, carefully calibrated bullet in a campaign of gaslighting. Hidden within that question is not curiosity, it is a calculated accusation. The subtext is clear: your reaction is the problem. You are weak. You are imagining threats. The fault lies not with my actions, but with your flawed perception. Pause for a moment and think back. Have you ever been in a relationship where the moment you expressed hurt, you were brushed aside with a dismissive, "Oh, you're just too sensitive"? Or at work, when you questioned the ethics of a decision, only to be met with, "Don't overreact, it's just business"? This isn't concern, it's a weapon. Its purpose is to strip you of your greatest defense, your awareness. Manipulators seek to take your sensitivity, which is, in essence, a finely tuned radar for danger and injustice, and systematically twist it into a character flaw, a weakness to be ashamed of. Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Manipulators are masters of this principle. They plant seeds of doubt in the garden of your imagination until you are the one questioning your own reality, until you genuinely believe you are the unstable element in the equation. But here is the undeniable truth: sensitivity is not weakness, it is awareness. The person who feels deeply often sees the fissures in the foundation long before the wall collapses. The Stoic response. Marcus Aurelius advised, "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I will gladly change. For it is truth that I seek, not victory." A person who values you will never shame your awareness. Only those who have something to hide fear your perception. So, the next time someone condescendingly asks, "Why are you being so sensitive?" do not get angry. Do not launch into a defensive rant. Simply hold their gaze, maintain your composure, and reply with calm clarity. "I'm not being sensitive. I'm being observant." Does that make you uncomfortable? That single, poised response reframes the entire conversation. You are no longer the defendant, you are the witness. And you will watch as the mask of false concern begins to slip. Question 2, you trust me, right? This question sounds like a plea for reassurance, a vulnerable seeking of connection. But beneath the velvet tone, this is not a question, it is a trap. Anyone who feels the need to demand trust, rather than patiently earning it through consistent action, has already revealed their intentions. A truly trustworthy person does not need to ask for your faith, their integrity is demonstrated daily, in the quiet consistency of their behavior. When someone looks you in the eye and insists, "You trust me, right?" what they are really saying is, "Stop thinking. Stop questioning. Hand over the keys to your judgment and let me drive." Epictetus warned us, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. Liars leverage this. They use this question to shut down your curiosity, to make you feel guilty for healthy caution, and to frame your desire for proof as a personal betrayal. But caution is not disloyalty, caution is wisdom. Think of the business partner who hesitates to show you the financial records but leans in with a conspiratorial, "Trust me." Or the lover who becomes secretive with their phone but repeats, "Don't you trust me?" They are not building trust, they are demanding blind faith. And blind faith is the most fertile ground for betrayal. The Stoic response. The Stoic virtue of apatheia, freedom from destructive passions, guides us here. Respond not with panic or defensiveness, but with calm detachment. When faced with, "You trust me, right?" pause. Take a breath. Then, reply with truth. Trust is not given, it is earned through consistent action. Are you asking me to ignore my own judgment? This response elegantly flips the script. The spotlight is now on their behavior, not your supposed lack of faith. A liar will stumble, deflect, or become angry. A person of integrity will not be offended, they will understand and continue to prove their trustworthiness through their actions. Remember, trust is a fortress built stone by stone through time and truth. To surrender the gates under pressure is to sacrifice your inner peace. Question 3, are you accusing me of something? This is a masterful tactical maneuver. It presents itself as a simple question of clarification, but it is actually a shield, a preemptive strike designed to flip the roles and put you on trial. Here is how the trap springs: you raise a legitimate concern. You point out a discrepancy. You ask a simple, factual question. And suddenly, instead of addressing the issue, you are met with a sharp, wounded counterattack. "Wait a minute, are you accusing me of something?" In an instant, the dynamic shifts. You are no longer the seeker of clarity, you are the aggressor. The spotlight swings away from their questionable behavior and burns directly onto you, forcing you into a defensive posture. You backpedal, you explain, you say, "No, that's not what I meant." And in that moment of retreat, you cede your power. The Stoic response. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." This Stoic silence is not surrender, it is a strategic refusal to play a game on someone else's terms. When someone snaps, "Are you accusing me of something?" do not rush to fill the silence with apologies. Hold your ground. Maintain steady eye contact. Let the tension sit for a beat. Then, with composed clarity, respond. "Should I be?" These 3 words are a powerful counterattack. They pierce the theatrical outrage because the liar expects panic and reassurance. They never expect quiet, unwavering power. Whether it's a boss confronted about missing funds or a partner questioned about secrecy, this question is meant to make your search for truth feel like an attack. The Stoic refuses to be baited. Truth does not panic, and wisdom does not apologize for observation. Question 4, would I ever lie to you? This is poison delivered in the most tender package. It sounds wounded, almost heartbroken, as if your mere doubt is a profound insult to their character. But ask yourself, why would someone need to ask this rhetorical question unless they sensed you were circling the truth? "Would I ever lie to you?" is not a question, it is theater. It is a performance designed to paint them as the soul of honor and you as the villain for daring to entertain a suspicion. The goal is not to prove their honesty, but to make you feel so guilty for doubting that you will voluntarily silence your own instincts. But the Stoics remind us, truth is never offended by scrutiny. Seneca argued, "If it is not true, do not say it." If it is not right, do not do it. A person of integrity does not need to verbally convince you of their innocence, their life is the evidence. Their actions, not their words, are the proof. The Stoic response. Do not take the bait. Do not scramble to reassure them. Instead, meet their performance with calm, piercing clarity. The next time someone asks, "Would I ever lie to you?" pause. Let the weight of the question hang in the air. Then, reply. That's not the question I'm asking. The real question is, how would I know if you did? This response instantly shifts the power dynamic. Liars thrive in the fog of emotional manipulation. Your response switches on a floodlight, demanding substance over performance. Honest people do not fear questions. Only those with something to hide do. Question 5, can't we just move on? This is the final, desperate card in the liar's deck, the weapon of exhaustion. When denial, deflection, and guilt-tripping fail, they turn to this plea for peace. On the surface, it sounds reasonable, a desire for closure. But look deeper, it is not about resolution, it is about escape. What they are really saying is, I am tired of being accountable. I do not want to face the consequences of the truth. I need you to become too weary to keep digging. This is how many lies ultimately survive, not because the liar outsmarts the truth, but because the seeker of truth grows exhausted and surrenders. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." He did not add, unless it's inconvenient to address. For the Stoic, truth has no expiration date. It does not fade simply because someone wants to move on. Think of the company embroiled in scandal whose leaders beg to stop dwelling on the past, or the unfaithful partner who pleads, "Why keep talking about it? Let's look to the future." This is not a plea for healing, it is a demand for silence, for burying the festering truth in the dark. The Stoic response. Do not respond with rage or endless argument. Respond with steady, unyielding resolve. When someone asks, "Can't we just move on?" breathe, and calmly state, "I will move on when I understand what happened. My peace is built on clarity, not on fatigue." This sentence anchors you in your right to truth. It communicates that you cannot be rushed, that your well-being is dependent on resolution, not avoidance. Liars feed on exhaustion. But when you stand calmly in your certainty, refusing to surrender, their game reaches its end. Remember, moving on is not about speed, it is about honesty. True peace can only begin once the truth has been faced. The unshakable Stoic mindset. Liars do not thrive on facts or logic. They thrive on emotion. Their entire strategy is to make you lose your balance, to make you feel guilty for asking questions, to shame you for your perceptiveness, and when all else fails, to exhaust you into submission. This is precisely where Stoicism becomes your shield. Epictetus's fundamental distinction is your foundation of freedom: some things are in our control, others are not. Their feelings, their reactions, their attempts to manipulate, these are not within your control. Your perceptions, your judgments, and your responses are. The Stoic does not react at the liar's frantic pace. They observe. They breathe. They choose their response with the precision of a surgeon. Imagine standing calmly in the eye of a hurricane, winds howl, chaos reigns, but you remain unmoved. That is the Stoic state of mind. Here is the secret manipulators never expect: their greatest weapon only works if you supply them with your reaction. Take that away, and their weapon shatters in their hands. Silence becomes strength. Observation becomes power. Detachment becomes liberation. So the next time someone tries to twist your reality, do not rush. Do not panic. Simply ask yourself the Stoic question: is this within my control? And with that single inquiry, you reclaim your sovereignty. You now recognize the 5 dangerous questions. You see the chessboard, and you are no longer a pawn to be sacrificed. You are the player. The Stoic does not need to shout or rage. They simply sit steady, their gaze fixed on truth, and in their calmness, they allow the liar to reveal themselves. Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius all understood a profound reality: the individual who sees clearly is the most dangerous person in the world to a deceiver, not because they are violent, but because they are utterly uncontrollable. Remember, you are not cruel for having boundaries. You are not harsh for seeking truth. You are not weak for perceiving deception. You are awake. And in a world that often prefers the comfort of shadows, those who are awake are both the most targeted and the most powerful. Choose clarity. Choose reason. Walk forward as a Stoic warrior, calm, observant, unshakable.